Sri Lanka.
A pleasant evening and a very warm welcome to the 9 p.m. news telecast of the prestigious channel of Sri Lanka. I'm Dulanjali Ananda.
And I am Lakshita Dirasinghe. We start off tonight's news bulletin by taking a quick look at the headlines.
The Indian Prime Minister officially declares open the Mahava Omantha railway line and the Anuradhapura railway signal system. Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi venerates the sacred Jayasri Mahabodhi and successfully concludes a 3-day official tour. Both countries receive many benefits from the 3-day state visit. Details of the tour will be presented to Parliament on Tuesday. The COPA committee reveals on misuse of funds in the importation of electric vehicles for expatriate workers. A discussion on tax policy on diplomatic level. A crucial meeting on next Tuesday. An Indian woman nabbed with 60 million rupees worth of cocaine in Katunayaka. Protests against Trump's taxes in 50 US states. Now for those and other stories in detail. Indian Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi's Sri Lanka official tour came to an end today, signifying a new chapter in Indo-Sri Lanka relations.
This visit underscores the enduring relationship encapsulated by the theme Friendship of Centuries Future, further solidifying the bonds between India and Sri Lanka. As the final leg of his 3-day Sri Lanka visit, Prime Minister Modi has reached the historic Anuradhapura sacred city this morning. Upon his arrival at the sacred site, Prime Minister Modi was warmly welcomed by the North Central Province Governor Wasantha Jinadasa, Ministers Vijitha Herath, Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa, Wasant Samarasinghe and Indian High Commissioner Santosh Jha. Subsequently, Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi was accorded a ceremonial guard of honour by the Sri Lanka Air Force. The Indian Prime Minister has arrived at the Jayasri Mahabodhi in Anuradhapura for veneration with President Anura Kumara Dissanayake. After attending the religious observances in the Udamaluwa, he formally inaugurated the newly constructed Makara Torana within the Jayasri Mahabodhi premises. Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi also left a commemorative note in the special guest book at the site. The Indian Prime Minister called on Chief Sangha Nayaka of Nuwara Kalaviya, Most Venerable Dr. Pallegama Hemaratan Nayaka Thera, and the Maha Sangha had chanted Seth Pirit and extended blessings to him and also to the President. The Prime Minister said that he would take measures for a Sri Lankan exposition of relics of the Lord Buddha which were excavated in his home state of Gujarat. He further stated that he would discuss with the President of Sri Lanka the possibility of exhibiting these sacred relics in Sri Lanka. Responding to a request made by the Atamasthana Adhipati to develop Bodh Gaya as a spiritual city, Prime Minister Modi assured that he would take the necessary steps after discussions with President Dissanayake and work towards making it a reality. The occasion was also attended by Chief Incumbent of the Ruwanveli Mahasaya Temple, Venerable Ithala Vetunaveve ஞானතිலக Thera. The upgraded Mahava-Omantha railway line and newly installed Mahava-Anuradhapura railway signalling system under Indian aid was officially inaugurated today by President Anurukumar Dissanayake and Indian Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi. The upgraded Mahava-Omantha railway line project was carried out with funding from the Indian Credit Line, totaling an investment of $91.27 million and the signalling system amounted to $14.8 million. The project had initially commenced as an Indian credit line. However, upon conclusion of President Anurukumar Dissanayake's first Indian state visit, the Government of India has taken measures to transform the project into a financial grant. The signal for the first train journey was given by the heads of the states of the two countries.
Sri Lanka का दौरा.
Indian Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi departed today in a special helicopter from the Air Force Base Anuradhapura, concluding his state visit to Sri Lanka. The Indian Premier embarked on the tour to Sri Lanka following an invitation from President Anurukumar Dissanayake. The Prime Minister's next destination was Rameswaram in Tamil Nadu. President Anurukumar Dissanayake says that the state visit of Indian Premier Sri Narendra Modi to Sri Lanka expands the opportunities of many areas where people of both the countries pay keen attention. The President made these observations during the special state banquet held on behalf of Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi yesterday. The state banquet by President Anurukumar Dissanayake was held at the President's house in Colombo yesterday. On arrival at the President's house, the Indian Premier was warmly welcomed by the President. The function was attended by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya, leader of the opposition Sajith Premadasa, parliamentarians and ministers of the two countries and other dignitaries. President Anurukumar Dissanayake said that the nation is happy about the growth of India as an important player in the global stage and also as a regional power. The country warmly welcomes all guests and especially those friends across the Pork Strait shall receive a wholehearted welcome from the nation. The neighboring island with a warm-hearted population requests friends to visit this wonderful island again and again, and that is also the expectation of everyone. The country is always ready to warmly welcome our friends and wish the cordial and cooperative relationship between the two countries will be further enhanced in the future. Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi also made his comments on this occasion.
Ayubavan, Vanakkam. Janathipati ji, Obage, Agantukaha, Satkaryataha, Bohomastuti.
Meanwhile, the Indian community in Sri Lanka warmly welcomed the Indian Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi, who was on a 3-day state visit. The Indian community conveyed their warm greetings to the Indian Prime Minister who visited them.
बाय बाय करता हूं। चलो मेरे साथ।
Indian Prime Minister Sri Narendra Modi also viewed a puppet show from Ambalangoda presented at the hotel premises where the Indian Premier stayed.
Sri Lanka's state tour of the Indian Prime Minister is reported to have brought extremely beneficial results to both countries. This is a brief evaluation on the direct benefits to be received by Sri Lanka as a result of the bilateral agreements.
Now, Mahanayaka Thera of the Asgiriya chapter, Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Jnanaratna Thera, says that devotees who are arriving in Kandy for the special exposition of the sacred tooth relic must behave respectfully and in an orderly manner. The Nayaka Thera has made these remarks to the media. Mahanayaka Thera of the Asgiriya chapter, Most Venerable Varakagoda Sri Jnanaratna Thera, noted that general public is eager to witness the sacred tooth relic by visiting the Sri Dalada Maligava. The Nayaka Thera calls upon all devotees to take part in the event with patience and compassion. Congestion is very likely when a large group of people congregate in a limited space. Therefore, the Mahanayaka Thera urged the general public to be mindful of the safety and the needs of all visitors and to engage in veneration with great devotion.
Minister of Public Security Ananda Vijaypala says that the environment required for the people to live without fear or doubt will be formulated soon. He made this observation after visiting and receiving the blessings of the most venerable Mahanayaka Theras of the Malvatu and Asgiri chapters. Minister of Public Security Ananda Vijaypala observed that certain politicians contributed to establish jointly in the society underworld activities and drug trafficking for a long time, and they manipulated it to come into power. The government is not of the view that it is possible to end the entire process of this menace in a short duration of 4 to 5 months, but it has to be eradicated. A conducive environment for the people to live without any fear or doubt has to be created. Steps have already been taken by the government in this direction. A number of more than 1,000 illegal firearms have been taken into custody during a short period of 2 to 3 months, along with underworld criminal gangs. Throughout the past, ex-servicemen who had obtained training in the 3 armed forces have been engaged in underworld activities. Action has also been taken to take them into custody, and a number of nearly 1,700 of them have already been taken into custody so far.
Minister Harshna Surya Peruma says that the government will negotiate with the appropriate diplomatic channels over the new US tax policy. He has made these remarks at a media briefing held at the Government Information Department today to enlighten on the issue.
It is not targeted on any country, including Sri Lanka. An appointment of committee to discuss further, to have a strategy to deal with the way forward on the engagement and what are the industries that will be affected once again, what are the areas that we need to look into to minimize the impact in the event adverse outcome is available. Further to that one, several meetings subsequent to that appointment of the committee was held. Some of the meetings were at length discussing the impact, discussing the approach that we need to take and the expertise that we need to obtain from several parties, what are the assistance that we need to take from the government to government level, diplomatic level, chambers level, and reaching out to our mission in the Washington DC what are the approaches that we need to take. So several approaches were discussed through these extensive engagements. Subsequent to those engagements, a decision was made that Sri Lanka will reach out to a very high level, office level representation from the US administration to discuss the current situation and our approach, and to showcase our seriousness and sincerity in engagement to resolve the matter as we move forward. Based on that, this virtual discussion was held for nearly an hour with very high level representatives engaging in that one. Commensurate participation from the Sri Lankan side. I myself took part, Honorable Minister took part on that discussion as well. Washington DC representing Sri Lankan mission officials took part, and very high level officials from the US administration also took part on those discussions. So matters were explained at length, given specifically highlighting the fact that we are within the current IMF program. So revenue consolidation measures are taking place. What are the approaches that we need to take? We appreciated the support that was given in terms of certain negotiations from the USA side of it, and we mentioned our intention to engage, and preliminary discussions were held as to what are the areas that we need to focus on, etc.
A COPA committee meeting has revealed that massive irregularities had been committed in the issuance of permits for the importation of fully electric vehicles for Sri Lankans engaged in overseas employments using foreign remittances. The Auditor General says money laundering practices were suspected to have taken place in issuing permits. A scheme had been implemented from 1st of May 2022 to 15th of September 2023 in the importation of full electric vehicles for Sri Lankan expatriate workers using foreign remittances. The Special Auditor General's report in this connection has come under discussion of the Committee on Public Accounts in Parliament recently. Auditor General WPC Vikramaratne said that permits had been processed even for the groups returning to the island after several days, considering them as migrants. Such incidents had been observed in 4 occasions. It is perplexing how such permits were issued for short-term travellers. Definitely irregularities had taken place in such practices. Another problem is to find who had recommended to issue such permits. A state official responding to the queries said that she was unaware as to how these permits were given out to these persons. She further said that she had to temporarily leave her post due to certain issues and influences, and that she added that she had rejected a number of such applications. The Auditor General said that the Cabinet paper had given approval to the Controller of Imports and Exports to issue permits. However, the permits were issued by the Secretary to the Ministry of Labour and not according to the Cabinet approval. The Rupavahini Children New Year Festival is being held at the Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation premises throughout the day today, parallel to Sri Lakapiri Aurudu Siri National New Year Festival celebrations.
A large number of children were participating in this festival, which includes a host of New Year folk games. Rupavahini Children's New Year Festival commenced this morning with the participation of the Chairman of Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation, Vihanti Silva, Director General Manoja Nadishana Amarasinghe, and the top management of the corporation. Sampath Bank is the official banking partner of the Rupavahini Children's New Year Festival. The Senior Deputy General Manager, Taraka Ranwala, Senior Manager, Sales, Anjali Gulatilaka of the bank also joined this occasion. Champion Soap, attached to the Nature's Beauty Creations company, is patronizing this festival, and Sales Manager Ruan Vikramarachi and the Brand Manager of Champion Soap, Prabhat Veeraratna, representing the company, participated in the inaugural function. The complete telecast of this Children's New Year Festival will be carried out by the National Television on the 14th of April 2025 at 1 p.m. onward.
Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that one of the main aims of the present government is to provide a better qualitative and efficient treatment service for the people by modernizing and digitalizing the government hospital system. The minister made these observations participating in the function of officially handing over the health information technology system to the public at Lady Ridgeway Children's Teaching Hospital in Colombo. The function was organized recently on the occasion of standardization of Tissue Science Department of Lady Ridgeway Hospital. This has been the first occasion where a laboratory of a government hospital was standardized. The minister further said that one of the major aspirations of the present government is to convert the hospital premises to a convenient place in the aspects of engineering and architecture, and also to provide patients the maximum possible treatment through the hospital. Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that the government expects to improve the hospital health service in several special aspects. One of them is the digitalization project. During the first tenure of the government, the fact how to utilize the digitalization will be applied in the management of human resources, and a health staff of nearly 150,000 personnel will also be taken into consideration.
The Special Medical and Relief Services contingent of the three armed forces of Sri Lanka, which left the country to provide relief to the victims of the recent earthquake in Myanmar, reached the Yangon airport yesterday. The team left for Myanmar under the instruction of President Andra Kumara Dissanayake and the supervision of the Defence Secretary. The relief services contingent of this country was received at the Yangon International Airport by the Sri Lankan ambassador in Myanmar, the Chief Minister of Yangon, Regent Yu So Kane, and a group of others. The Chief Minister of Yangon commended the steps taken by the government of Sri Lanka and the people to provide emergency aid during this disaster. He further said that the long-standing close friendly ties between the two countries have been further cemented by this assistance extended by Sri Lanka. The Sri Lankan Relief Services team will be engaged in humanitarian aid and relief services in the areas affected by the national disaster in the capital of that country, Nay Pyi Taw.
And with that, we take a look at a few more local news items in brief. A female Indian national with a consignment of more than 1.5 kilos of cocaine narcotics was nabbed at the Katunayake airport at dawn today. Officials of the Police Anti-Narcotic Bureau who had conducted the search operation said the stock of cocaine valued at more than 60 million rupees was found in polythene packets in her travel bags. A suspect who was awaiting to receive the contraband was also taken into custody. 3 children were run over by a motor car in Totupala Road in Mahabagi Police Division last evening. The police says a 5-year-old female child was killed in the incident. The victim was a preschool student. 3 small children and a woman injured in the incident were admitted to the Ragama hospital. The drunken driver has caused the accident was reported to have fled the area. The Mahabagi police station is conducting inquiries. Former Dean of the Faculty of Sinhala Language Studies of the Peradeniya University, Professor Arya Raja Karuna has passed away. He was 92 years old at the time of demise. The late professor, who had rendered a significant service for the Sinhala literature, also contributed in translating Japanese language into Sinhala. The funeral is scheduled to be conducted at the Mahayava General Cemetery, Kandy, next Tuesday. Today is the 6th day of the Sundara Nuwareliya's Salalihini Vasantaya.
The national television sponsors Salalihini Vasantaya this year as well.
Vasantaya Springfest 2025 Sri Lanka Insurance Life Samaga.
The most prestigious channel, the national television, celebrates the 6th day of the Salalihini Vasantaya today. This extremely successful series of programs enable tourists to enjoy their stay in the country. The National Television and the Nuwareliya Municipal Council have been able to banquet many special souvenirs to the visitors. The Mahagastota motor race also took place today amidst. This was a unique experience for many foreigners. The National Television calls upon all to join the exhilarating Salalihini Vasantaya festival.
Just a week's time is left for the dawn of the Sinhala and Tamil New Year. Various outdoor festivals are being organized in many areas in the island. the national television will extend special media coverage on the Aurudhu celebrations to be conducted on the regional and village levels. The Homagama Sports Club has organised a Buck Mahaulila for the 42nd occasion. It was conducted throughout the day yesterday at the Wilfred Senanayake grounds. Many folk plays and competitions were included in the programme. Aurudhu Festival of the BJF Dhamma School affiliated to the Sri Jayavardhanarama Vihare in Rajagiriya was conducted yesterday. It had given prominence to New Year rituals and cultural features. Another Bakmaha festival was held at the Ranmutuyana grounds in Parakandiniya Ganemulla yesterday. The Aurudhu events included a race across the village, placing the eye on an elephant, and the competition to select Aurudhu Kumariya and Kumara. The Aurudhu Festival of the Welfare Society of the Valuation Department, Kegal, was held at the Kegal Police Grounds yesterday.
Kegal District Parliamentarian of the National People's Power, Khosla Nuwan Jayavira, has passed away at the age of 38. The cause of the demise is reported to be a heart attack. Khosla Nuwan Jayavira had been elected to Parliament to represent the Kegal district with 61,713 votes. He had received the second highest number of preferential votes in the district. That's a look at local news. Stay tuned for international stories coming up next after this break.
Prima Kottumi, hot and spicy, nava wasarak veva. Lassana palloke, kottumi saravi hite, hikka sita benda. Final fashion nape, hikka badde watte, hot and spicy guess mate. Prima Kottumi, fan tamai. Prima Kottumi, hot and spicy, nava wasarak veva.
And in foreign news, crowds of protesters gathered in cities across the United States yesterday to denounce President Trump in the largest nationwide show of opposition since the president took office in January.
The hands-off demonstrations were held in more than 1,200 locations in all 50 states by more than 150 groups, including civil rights organizations and labor unions. Thousands of people turned out in Boston, Chicago, Los Angeles, New York and Washington, D.C., among other cities. Protesters cited grievances with Trump's agenda ranging from social to economic issues. Coming days after President Trump's announcement that the U.S. would impose import tariffs on most countries around the world, gatherings were also held outside the U.S., including in London, Paris and Berlin. Demonstrators also voiced anger over the U.S. administration's moves to fire thousands of federal workers, close Social Security Administration field offices, effectively shutter entire agencies, deport immigrants, scale back protection for transgender people and cut funding for health programs.
The hands-off rally.
Now the Kandy team won the Clifford Cup Knockout Rugby Tournament trophy today.
This was the second occasion of the Kandy team becoming champions. The finals were worked out between the Kandy and CRNFC teams at the Nittavela grounds in Kandy. A strong competition was evident since the commencement of the play. The Kandy players have collected 17 points and CRNFC players 14 points at the end of the first half. However, the Kandy team was able to score 27 points in respect of the 19 points collected by the CRNFC team in the second half. As a result, the final score was 41-33 in favour of the Kandy team. The winners have scored their points through 5 goals and 2 penalties.
Will get the first commercial bank try.
And that's all the news we have for you tonight. Join us tomorrow at the same time for the very latest on Channel I. I'm the Langley together with Lakshita signing off. Good night.
Good night.
Farid.